But from there, I mean, obviously the home opener becomes the Seattle Seahawks game, and you see the storyline already. DK Metcalf getting the chance to face his former team, the team that drafted him, that team that, kind of gave him this opportunity. And that's going to be his first time putting that black and gold running out of that tunnel at home. It's going to be electric out there, man.
What's that like from the player standpoint from when you started in Buffalo and then you played with the Steelers after the fact? What's that like switching organizations in the very first time that you come out of the tunnel? What used to be Heinz Field is now Acrisure Stadium.
Man, it's a crazy feeling. Because obviously you are trying to get entrenched with your new organization, that new fan base, and you want to love on them and feel like, you know what, this is all I care about. But then at the same time, you still have those feelings. And usually when it's the first time, it's more so rooted in hurt than it is happiness when you see your former team when they're the ones that drafted you. Because you envision that, hey, you're going to get drafted by this team. And just like every perfect ending, you're going to play 20 years in one jersey, be a Hall of Famer in that jersey. So when they move on from you, oh yeah, you're looking at them and all these emotions are coming back up. And I can only imagine how DK is going to be feeling because he actually got the compensation. They gave him that second contract out there. I never got the second contract in Buffalo, but I was just pissed at how how everything kind of ended up there. So for DK, I'm like, man, if you have him in fantasy football, this is most definitely the week where you want to make sure he's starting, make sure you get all the bucks you can get because he's going to be all the way amped up for this matchup here, man.
Yeah, I think about it of the very first time he plays a regular season game at home in Pittsburgh, coupled with the fact that it will be against his former team in the Seattle Seahawks. If the Steelers are legit, though, home opener, Sam Darnold is also new to Seattle.
Yeah.
Newsflash. I've got the Steelers starting out 3-0. I do, because it's like if they're actually legit, you've got to win these first three games because it does get more difficult. But home opener against Seattle, I don't know. Like, is this going to be the pumpkin who showed up at the end of the season with Minnesota and who bounced around the league in his other stops with the Jets and the Panthers? Or is this going to be the guy who gets the huge extension and it's warranted? I don't know the answer to that definitively. So if you're the Steelers, you almost have a little bit more stability from that standpoint.
No, you're absolutely right. And I kind of think this also, with those first couple of games, we both, and we're not just the only ones, a lot of us are prisoners of what is the quarterback situation, right? Jets, Justin Fields, Seattle, Sam Darnold, New England, Drake May, Minnesota, JJ McCarthy. But how many times have we said here in Pittsburgh, defense is going to get us up out of this thing? In any of these games, who are we saying that their defense is better than the Steelers' defense? I think that that's the other part when we talk about how the Steelers force teams to create turnovers, force teams to make mistakes. All of these first four teams, to me, offensively, as much as we could look at the optimistic side, I'm like, all of these teams are going to be turning that football over, or traditionally have had players in those positions that turn the football over. And that's something that we have constantly seen the Steelers have success at doing, especially in the regular season.
Yeah, it's between this Seattle game and then week 3 with the Patriots. Okay, unless we're turning back the clock and Mike Vrabel's putting on the pads, it's like, great. Drake May looked decent as a rookie. He's got an okay rookie left tackle with Will Campbell, but like, I still don't really know who he's going to throw the ball to this year. So it's like, I'm not – these first 3 games, I'm really not too worried about it. I mean, my worry is this, Arthur. So, like, I've given you glass half full. Let me give you glass half empty. Would be if the Steelers' offense really, really, really struggles in the aftermath of the Pickens trade, in that you're replacing your quarterback from a year ago, you're starting running back, and you're starting left tackle. And whether you like Pickens or not, you're leading pass catcher. But it wasn't all that great to begin with anyways, so surely it couldn't be any worse. That's just by logic with how this schedule shakes out early on for Pittsburgh, which, again, I think early on is actually very, very favorable for the Steelers these first few weeks of the season.
Yeah. But then after that, we got the big game that everybody was talking about when the announcement was made this offseason. This was one of the games that we actually got confirmation on before the official schedule release, and that's the week 4 matchup in Dublin, Ireland versus the Minnesota Vikings. This is one of those weird ones to me. I like if this is in Pittsburgh or if this is in Minnesota, I think that it's a very different feel to it. But when you throw in the international element, when you throw in the fact the Vikings are planning on playing back-to-back weeks out there, this is to me one that I circle and I say, okay, this could get a little weird.
Yeah, I had the Steelers taking their first loss here in my schedule, so I had them starting out 3-1. You could flip out any of the other first three games and say, well, maybe they beat Minnesota. They last played abroad against the Vikings.
Yeah. Adrian
Was
Peterson.
it Wembley in
Mm-hmm.
2013? So
Mm-hmm.
all of those years ago. And so it's been a long time for the Steelers, but a lot of excitement for the NFL's first regular season game in Dublin. Early kickoff, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, but
Get
it's
your
going to be
coffee
fun,
ready,
man.
baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
Irish coffee.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Without a doubt right there, man.
Did because you were still in Buffalo in 2013. Did you ever go abroad in your playing career?
Yeah, so when I played international, it was back in 2010 through 2013 and in Buffalo, but we were only going up to Toronto to play. That was where all of our all of our international games were, but we would do two. We would do a preseason game in Toronto, and then we would also do a regular season game, since obviously it's what, an hour and a half drive, going from Buffalo to Toronto, where they were playing at the Rogers Center downtown, man, which was a cool experience. But even with that, just being an hour away from Buffalo, when I tell you the fan experience, it doesn't feel like a home game. And even
Mm.
talking with, former Pittsburgh Steelers that played in that 2013 game, they said very similar things as it pertains to the crowd. They cheer for everything that is good. It doesn't matter if you have the ball, if you don't have the ball. If there's a completion, they're happy. If there's a big run, they're happy. They're also going to wear every popular jersey that you can think of. So you're going to see Tom Brady jerseys. You're going to see Justin Jefferson jerseys. You're going to see Devontae Adams jerseys. You're going to see Puka Nacua, like Josh, like that's how it goes when you play international. And you just kind of understand this is what you're signing up for. Your job is to obviously win the game and put the best performance out there, but you're also doing a marketing thing in terms of trying to expand the NFL's or the football platform or the football foothold, further out. Because if we don't introduce this game to foreigners, how are we going to get them to actually, have a passion about it, to want to grow it, to want to play it, and then ultimately help it get bigger? So you kind of think of it both ways like that. But yeah, you definitely prefer being on like real, home field or really on the road, because it's really a neutral vibe that you get when you play international.
Sounds like we just need to get the Bills Mafia on a bunch of buses to Toronto to meet. Did you
Hey,
get
look.
to? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, man, they would show up, but the amount of just the Canadian nationals, man, they look at it as it's just football. It is different than Canadian football too. So for them, even trying to have like that connection, you got the Hamilton Tiger Cats up there, you got the Toronto Organized, so they felt like they already had teams that they have alliances too. So it was, like I said, a really weird dynamic.
Hey, to the Canadian viewers and listeners of Arthur's show, there's 4 downs in the NFL. 4 downs.
Hey, look, I don't even care about that. I'm a pass rusher. Why are my edge rushers having to be a yard off the ball? Like, come on, man.
Did you get to experience any of the city life while you were there? Certainly, I understand the home field advantage that Buffalo provides playing in Buffalo with the Bills Mafia. Did you get to see any of the city of Toronto, though, when you were there
Yeah.
playing abroad? I've heard Toronto's a fantastic city.
Man, listen, I love Toronto. Beautiful city. We always said it reminded me of a really nice and clean New York City. Like everybody's friendly, everything is nice, Yeah. Like, and even, when you're talking about just simple rules. I mean, I remember back in 2010, they were saying that you couldn't even leave your car idling, right? If you were sitting on something, you have to turn your car off. I was like, oh man, like you're ahead of the game over here. Like, all right, I like it, but that was their thing. And it wasn't, you don't see any trash. You don't really see any homeless people downtown and stuff, which to me was very different than, when you're spending time in Buffalo, we would typically go to New York City. So, you do that. And it's like, it's a very different energy there compared to when you go to Toronto. So from there, definitely started to love Toronto a lot more, man. But, that's one of the things that, when you do get to have these international experiences, for us going to Toronto, because of it being close in proximity, we only would leave a day ahead, tip like a normal travel. Whereas when you talk about some of these longer trips, whether it's to London, to Ireland, some of the teams that play in I was in Spain this year, they're going to leave probably a week or multiple days ahead. So you're going to have a little bit different of a dynamic when you're out there in terms of what do you do on Monday or Tuesday in terms of your rehab and your recovery? How do you prepare in terms of film session or your extra work you might want to do throughout the week? Those are things you have to adjust when you play in these international games also.
Yeah, the jet lag is real, and I know Minnesota's going to have back-to-back weeks because what is it, Dublin,
Yeah.
and then is it London that they're in
London,
the following
they're
week?
in London. They're giving them the Jacksonville Jaguars treatment. They're trying to see who do we want to have international full time first. All right, the London Jags or the London Minnesota Vikings, London Vikings.
That day will
right?
come when there's more expansion. I do believe that day will come. Just
you
to
see how
continue
many
to grow
more
the game.
You think about how many more international games we have on the docket this year compared to 5 years ago, compared to 10 years ago. They are keeping it, they're not rolling it back. They're continuing to expand, continuing to tap into new countries. And for the NFL, I don't see why they would even consider, not going even further with this thing, because it's only going to make the game better and also continue to get more resources for the game also.
Definitely. And as we go on into the Steelers schedule too, you see the Thursday night games, there's not really much holiday impact this year with the Steelers, but remember they played on Christmas
Day. It's refreshing,
Day
right?
a year
Very refreshing.
Ago. Well, yes. It's the NFL being out for blood as well. When you look at the top 100 watched broadcasts each year, I had it pulled up for the last 5 years. I've got this in my notes here, Arthur. For the last 5 years, top 100 watched TV broadcasts, 395 of them are the NFL. Again, I'll say this again. Last 5 years, top 100 watch broadcasts each year. 395 out of the 500 total are the NFL. If that does not show this country's infatuation with the NFL, I don't know what does. And it shows you why the NFL is going to play games on Black Friday, why they're going to go after Christmas Day, which has always been for the almighty NBA.
Mark, you said they're going to go after. No. They have already taken over Christmas Day. Yeah. We've seen that now. That they own Christmas. That's what they do. It's unreal, man.
In 2024, 72 of the top 100 watched broadcasts were the NFL. Tells you everything that you need to know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail our scheduled discussion with Toronto and broadcast talk, but all of this stuff is interconnected, man.
Well, 100%. And I think that's why we get to do what we do, because there's so many avenues, there's so many different, variables at play. And that's what makes the NFL so successful, because they tap into so many different personal passions of ours. Whether it is the production side, whether it is the TV side, for me, the playing side, for some, it's the travel element. Think about it, man. Some people have been waiting, so now they can book their flights, get their hotels. They are ready to, all right, let's get this officially on the calendar now. And that's the NFL understanding that. And I mean, it's part of, why they are who they are. This is not new to them, man. But coming out of that early bye, which it is pretty early this year, man, I'm not the biggest fan of that. It's like week 5, but you have to do that when you have the international game. I mean, it's just part of it. So from there, you come out of the bye, and now it's time for Cleveland.